Today, when we are asking to borrow $108 million, there's an institution called ZESCO that has been sending $82 million at a period when Zambia had suspended its servicing of debt. Now, Madam Speaker, you have an institution, because this tells you a lot of recklessness in the management of our financial resources in a country.
What's up? My name is Ken Dumbo, the MC with the sauce. Don't forget to subscribe to JCOO.
Member Fonkana has been debating while seated. I will use my discretion now and ask him to debate, but please do not repeat what others have already debated on.
Madam Speaker, I sincerely want to thank you for giving me this opportunity. And I want to start by saying we must, first of all, take away the unnecessary debate as to whether our meeting today is supported by law. Our meeting today is within the law. Let me start by saying this. The question is, why are we here? The Speaker wrote to us, come back from your leave, because we need to come and discuss this matter. In October 2023, the Minister of Finance presented a national budget for 2024, alongside a borrowing plan, in which plan he had indicated, which we supported, to borrow internally 16 billion kwacha. Externally, he had asked us to support him to borrow $416 million. This year in July, the Honorable Minister of Finance came back and asked us to make an adjustment to that borrowing for 2024. He adjusted the borrowing internally from 16 million kwacha or billion kwacha to 22 billion kwacha. He also asked us to support him to adjust the external borrowing from the 416 million US dollars to 907 million US dollars. This is where we should start from. In the application or in the proposal by the minister to borrow 907 million US dollars, there was $150 million that should have come from the Africa Development Bank on concessional terms. Our friends, the UPND, have been around the market towns on Hunt Hills castigating the previous governments on their insatiable appetite for borrowing. Today, Madam Speaker, let me state here that we are not being asked to revisit this borrowing plan that was intentionally intended to be concessional. It's commercial. Because now we have to borrow at around 6%. This must be stated in clear terms. Madam Speaker, let me say these things. For those, and I want to thank Honorable Mwambazi, who says a debate should have been left to accountants like me. Because as opposed to going around the town, let's give this into clear context. Madam Speaker, Zambia implements, let me say this, and please do follow me, because this is now technical. Zambia has adopted over time, and let me say traditionally, a static fiscal framework. Madam Speaker, this is now technical. We, over the time, have been dealing with, we have adopted a static fiscal framework. Our budget has been a static budgetary process. In other countries like the US, they do a rolling budget, meaning that at any time they can convene to do a budget. For our sake, we sit at a particular time to carefully plan our budget for a specific time frame. It therefore means as you are planning your expenditure, you also plan your incomes. Madam Speaker, let me say here, what we are witnessing today is fiscal chaos. Madam Speaker, the symptoms of a poor or fiscal management, I can classify two. Number one, poor revenue projections. Number two, lack of contingent planning. Why we are here is because of, number one, lack of contingent planning. Because the minister, if he had planned for contingencies, we wouldn't have been here. We would have foreseen that some of our lenders would turn around, like what the Africa Development Bank has done. Madam Speaker, if the minister was aware of proper revenue projections, we wouldn't be sitting here. Madam Speaker, let us ask ourselves a question about borrowing. Why should we borrow as a country? And this is a question that I've been asking for over time. Borrowing, like many have said, is not wrong. And I'm surprised today that the UPND can stand and say there's nothing wrong in borrowing. These are the people that have been all over town castigating their previous friends on borrowing. And sadly today, they are asking us to borrow, not on concessional, but around a commercial term, which is about 6%. Madam Speaker, let me say this. We are asking ourselves to borrow $108 million. This is a country, Madam Speaker, let me remind you, Madam Speaker, in 2020, Zambia defaulted on debts, on its debt servicing. In 2020, Zambia applied for a debt servicing suspension initiative, which was granted. It means from 2020, Zambia was not expected to pay or to service any debt. Today, when we are asking to borrow $108 million, there's an institution called ZESCO that has been sending $82 million at a period when Zambia had suspended its servicing of debts. Now, Madam Speaker, you have an institution, because this tells you a lot of recklessness in the management of our financial resources in a country. A financial, or rather a company in the state, without approval processes from the ministry, from the secretary to treasury, transfers $82 million by mistake. Yet the minister there is asking us to borrow $108 million at 6% commercial interest terms, Madam Speaker. This is a government that is asking us to continue borrowing when, MP from Wandi, your people in government institutions are all over committing crimes. We heard in the Ministry of Health where permanent secretaries were awarding themselves contracts.
Order, Honorable Member from Kano.
Madam Speaker.
Order. I had guided that if we are going to make any statement that touches on anything, we should be able to verify it. So, Honorable Member, don't talk about things that you cannot verify.
Interestingly, Madam Speaker, the things I speak about are all over on record. We are being asked to borrow when there's recklessness going on, when people are broketing the law, including on transferring without approvals. Madam Speaker, let me say this, and please forgive me. I think that by UPND number to Derela. Because if they were serious, they would not come to ask us to borrow.
Honorable Member from Kano. From the report, is there anything written that by UPND now to Verela?
No, but to Verela, Madam Speaker, because
there's
no way.
Report? Where is that in the report?
No, Madam Speaker, I'm just now making a conclusion. Because, Madam Speaker, you cannot be a country where an institution is sending by error $82 million and you come and convene a meeting of parliamentarians to come and ask us to borrow $108 million.
Order, Honorable Member from Kano, you have debated that issue even on social media. What would be best is please verify that information.
Madam Speaker, that is verified.
Order, Honorable Member from Kano. I'm guiding. Honorable Member from Kano has debated that issue on social media. I saw the video. So, Honorable Member from Kano, please verify your facts before you mislead the nation. Honorable Member from Kano, I'm still speaking.
Let me conclude, Madam Speaker.
Honorable Member from Kano, I'm still speaking. So please verify your facts before you end up misleading the whole nation. May the Honorable Member from Kano conclude.
I am just a sad man, Madam Speaker, that today, like I said last time, we've been recalled from our break, dressed up in good suits, to come and support an intention to continue borrowing. Sadly, a departure from the intention to borrow at concessional terms, now we have to borrow. A lack of confidence by our cooperating partners, because the adjustment from $150 million to 108 is a lack of confidence in the ability of the UPND to manage its finances. I thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. The Honorable.
Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel, J Cool, and turn on the notification bell, cause I'm gonna see you in the next video.